2026 marks my 5th year on YouTube, and after making 300 videos, I decided to do a more chill video to talk about what I've learned, how I started, and what's for the future. Basically, it's a lot of talking. I asked you guys a bunch of questions as well over on Instagram and on a YouTube community post, so I'll try to answer the questions as much as possible alongside the tips and whatever I want to share. So let's get started. So to start, let's do a quick introduction of myself for those of you who are new to the channel. My name is Lewis, obviously. I'm 25 years old, I live in Singapore, and aside from keyboards, I enjoy collecting cards, Pokemon, One Piece. I'm an anime/manga enjoyer. I have a bunch of tattoos all over me that are related to my favorite character, Ace from One Piece. As you can tell, the whole decor in my room is also very One Piece themed. And I am currently doing content creation full-time, so nice to meet you. Let's go from the beginning. How did I even start doing YouTube? This brings us back 8 years ago, all the way back to 2017. It sounds so near, but it's actually 8 years ago. I had this group channel with Squashy and two of my other friends called Kazam Productions. The videos we made on that channel were purely made for fun and made just for memories. That channel lasted 2 years before it got hacked and we cannot recover it for some reason. And that was also when we started our diploma. Who's we? Me and Squashy. We were in the same class. We were studying in a diploma of visual effects. Now, before we started this diploma, we had basically this 2 year of experience creating videos on YouTube. We learned how to edit from scratch. We learned how to do motion graphics from scratch. We learned how to use Photoshop from scratch, all by ourselves. So basically this diploma for the first, I would say, 1.5 years was pretty much useless for us because we basically knew everything that they wanted to teach us. But that also means that we had a lot of free time, and that was when Squashy decided to revive his more or less dead channel, and I became the cameraman for that. On top of that, I'm pretty sure you can already guess it that every single lesson we had was facing a monitor, and with a monitor, a keyboard. And back then, custom keyboards weren't that popular, so Squashy randomly one day just pulled out a keyboard, and I remember it very clearly. It was a GK61 with a wooden case. It was the cherry blossom keycaps and like some Gaydron yellow switches, and it was the most impressive thing ever. Back then, that would cost about $200 to $300, and I was like, wow, I need one. So that was what got me started into custom keyboards. That was towards the end of the diploma, so I wanted to upgrade my PC. I also wanted to build my own custom keyboard, and I decided, why not film that for a video of my own? And that is exactly what I did, and that is also why the first video on this channel is a PC build. Now, I did get a shout out from Squashy.
Do subscribe to Louis.
So that did give me kind of a head start or kind of a boost so that it wasn't too hard to kind of get things going. But I do think that I would have been able to done it without the shout out as well, I think. I made 2 rules for myself when I first started this channel. Don't think about the money and don't think about the views. I just wanted to keep making videos that I was proud of and I was happy to create. At the time, I was the biggest Linus Tech Tip fanboy. I watched so many PC builds, Jay's 2 cents, all of those tech creators. I wanted to build my own custom keyboard, and I just wanted to document myself doing that. At the time, it cost so much money just to build a custom keyboard. So what I did was basically have fun and create videos that didn't cost me too much money. I did these crazy keyboard builds with bread, with Jello, with Lego and whatnot. And I did a whole bunch of stuff that didn't cost me really that much. I did get a little lucky because all I wanted was a cheap custom keyboard. So I got one from Taobao and it cost $50 US, and at the time, $50 US for a keyboard kit was crazy. It was unheard of. So that did get me a lot of views, even though I've watched that video back and it's so badly filmed and edited and everything. But basically what you're looking for is some of that viral moments in the videos you create. And that is exactly what I continued doing. I basically just kept spamming budget reviews. But At the same time, I also try exploring into different types of content that were not budget reviews, so that if you look at a bigger picture between 30 to 50 videos, you would be able to tell what's working, what's not working, what's getting you views, what is more of an evergreen content that constantly gets views throughout your day-to-day basis. So after the 30 to 50 videos, what came out of it was budget and thought. These two things would constantly get me a good amount of views. And if you noticed, till this day, budget and thought are one of my best performing videos. One of the questions I always get, what if I don't have a fancy camera or fancy mic? Now, I'm not gonna say an expensive camera doesn't help, an expensive mic doesn't help, but if you go back to my older videos and you look at the footage that I have, the B-roll, the A-roll, the blah blah blah, the sound quality.
We're going to start off with our keyboard kit. This kit costs 169 yuan, which is China's currency.
It wasn't that good. So your phone camera is good enough. What you're seeing now is from my phone, and you don't need such a good camera. What you need is good audio. Audio is something I feel like matters a lot, not just for sound tests or typing tests. It's more about your words being conveyed properly. Wow, nice. Now I decided to add this in last minute. This is my camera, my $3,000 camera without a microphone, and I'd rather have a mic, honestly. Now onto the topic of talking to the camera or being shy about talking to the camera. The main tip I have is that if you're planning to do product reviews, start with voiceovers. In the beginning, I did not do a lot of face-to-face with the camera. It was a lot of B-roll, it was a lot about the keyboard, it was a lot about the product. I did a lot of product filming. I made sure that I have as many shots as possible so that there weren't any like empty spaces where I would have to slot myself in. I think the bare minimum is doing an outro with a face-to-face so that, at least your audience can put a face to your voice or a face to your name. The second thing I want to talk about is editing. When you edit and you hear yourself constantly, you do kind of pick up on what you need to work on, what words you need to kind of rephrase, or maybe just certain sentences that you say you want to fix, Now, aside from talking, filming the video itself is a completely different thing. If you do find it challenging to film a video, like you don't know what shots to get, you don't know what angles to do, the best tip I have is watch as many creators as you can. Like watch different creators with different type of video styles. Take inspiration, look at the shots they do, and when you are the one in control, film a video that you will want to watch. The most important thing about any shot you want to do isn't about how good it looks, but about how much it matters. It should show some sort of an action, it should prove your point when you're doing your voiceover. It basically has to have some sort of a meaning behind it. As you slowly go through these steps, like, oh, I do want to show that this keyboard is hot swappable, I do want to show that this has something related to the PCB, I do want to show the case, blah blah blah. All these things, as you slowly go through these steps, you will kind of just piece together a video. That's how I do it. Consistency is probably one of the most important things when it comes to YouTube. I do want to make a video that I was proud of and I'm happy with after 1 week. And honestly, there really isn't any excuse to not being able to do that. It's really all about hard work, because myself, after the diploma, I had military training for 2 years, and in a week, 7 days, 5 of those days I was stuck in an army camp where I could not do anything. So I would only have my weekends of 2 days to pump out a video that I would be happy with, and I could still achieve that for the 2 years that I was serving my military training. So if you really want to do something and you set your mind to it, this sounds really cliche, but you will be able to push through it, and staying consistent is part of that process. So to finish up, let's do a Q&A. I haven't done one in so long, I kind of miss it actually, so let's do this. So this question is from Alexander from YouTube, and he's asking, how much do I make from YouTube? Not much really. AdSense isn't that great. It's about 500 Singapore dollars a month, so that's about 350 US dollars, so yeah. But I do get paid on certain reviews, and they're not paying for my opinion, they're just paying for me to review their board. So I still get to speak whatever I want about this certain product that they're sending me, they're just paying so that I will make a video on their product. Alexander also asked, do I have a cameraman? I do not. It's all me, except for the editing of a video. It's your time to shine, Jacob. Shout out Jacob, my editor. I started working with Jacob towards the first quarter of 2025. He was really open to listening about what I like in my videos, my style of videos, so that you guys wouldn't feel like there's such a drastic change. And on top of that, he was adding more value into my videos than I personally could. And on top of that, to answer this question from Phil about leaving my speech bloopers because they really like them, why did I decide to do that? I did not decide to do that. Jacob decided to do that because it felt more personal and felt more human, I would say. So shout out Jacob the GOAT. Where do you think you would be in your life right now if you've never started your YouTube channel? Personally, I think I would have just continued going to university like anyone else, get a degree in probably marketing, so that I can work in a marketing place, be a videographer or editor to make ads, I guess. Alright, the next question is from Vincent, and he was asking, were you afraid before starting? If so, what made the first step in overcoming it to make videos? Personally, it felt more like sharing a hobby with a friend. Imagine you just got into a certain hobby and you know your close friend, you just want to introduce it or show it to them. That's what it felt like when I first started creating YouTube videos. Favorite video you've recorded and one you're looking to make. My absolute favorite video is maybe recency bias, but my Japan vlog from 2025 with my friends. The three of my other friends and myself traveled all around Japan and I vlogged the whole thing. Personally, for me, it's all about creating memories, and that video is a memory that I will have forever, basically. I could show it to like my kids in the future about how I was playing with the snow and blah blah blah. You know, it's kind of cool. Now, a video I was actually looking forward to make is this video. Unless a keyword is really interesting, which currently doesn't exist, it's all about videos that aren't really that much related to keyboards. So I was really excited to share what I've learned, what you guys are curious about, and share a little bit more about myself. So I was pretty excited to record this video. Which also brings me to this question. If I could restart my journey, what would I do differently? Oh boy. Let's break it down. There are two different types of content creators. There's a personality content creator and a content creator. Personally, I would put myself in content creator, just like I would say keyboard and Betsy tech. And for example, a personality content creator would be Glasses, Squashy, maybe Shoops. He's gone, but Shoops, I would say, is definitely a personality content creator. For people like Glasses and Squashy, it's really more about their personality that shines through in their videos. So people watch them for who they are, not so much for the product that they're trying to show off. And as for content creators, it's really more about the product itself. So depending on the product is how well the video would do. One thing I've realized about creators like Squashy and Glasses is that their upload schedule is like maybe once a month or like once every 3 months, but that makes their videos always good. And they somehow want to perfect those crazy ideas before they can even post. So in return, their personality plus these crazy video ideas make them really unique. So if I could restart my journey, I would dabble a little bit more into being a more personality content creator. Now that also brings us to the next question, the future/long-term plan of this channel and what I think of the keyboard market right now. The keyboard community and the market right now, I wouldn't say it's dead, but I do think it's slowing down. If you're comparing it to COVID, which was like peak, and when I started the channel, then it's way lesser. But one thing about custom keyboards is that I do think it's becoming more mainstream. So bigger companies are basically kind of getting into custom keyboards, and the mainstream audience is also more and more curious about having custom keyboards. So I feel like it's not so much about a niche anymore, but more of a beginner kind of thing so that everyone can have their own. Now, the last question, tips on staying consistent and avoiding burnout. That is so real. I've been trying to make weekly videos for nearly 5 years, and some years were easier, some years were not. But personally, I think the main thing that has always kept me going is a goal. A goal that you really believe that you can achieve. That is the most important. I want to hit a certain number of subscribers, maybe I want to do something, then what can I do to help achieve that? Do more videos. So basically having a goal that you can actually attain and achieve and it's something that you actually really believe in, pushes you a lot more than you think. Now, burnout is a completely different thing. Burnout will always happen no matter what. And at the end of the day, as much as I love the custom keyboard hobby, repeating the same thing week in, week out, receiving a keyboard, unboxing, filming, typing tests, it does get a little mundane, especially when a keyboard isn't that unique, which also answers another question. How do I decide which keyboards to review and not? After a certain point in time, I was really picky about what keyboards I want to review, because I don't want to review just a regular keyboard. Like, a lot of companies email me about reviewing their keyboard, but I really find no interest in their keyboards, and I just don't bother accepting it, So if you're having trouble picking out what you want to review, I'd say just go with your gut, really. If you don't think the keyboard's interesting, don't pick it up, because it's just gonna add to your burnout. So just pick up things that you think you would be interested in, because people watch these videos for who you are, and if you like it, I'm pretty sure some of your audience will like it as well. You can't be the only one in the whole world that likes a certain keyboard. Now, back to the topic of burnout, I have two different methods that I typically avoid it as much as possible. The first one is going out of the cycle, because I think most of us burn out because we keep doing the same thing. It gets mundane, and then we kind of get tired, our brain gets broken down, blah blah blah, and then we get lazy and blah blah blah. I think trying out different content is really important. Towards the end of last year, when I was doing the IEM video and glass mousepad video, it felt really refreshing to do something different, because it was a completely new thing to me. I haven't tried IEMs, I haven't tried a glass mousepad, and I could think about what angles can I do that I can't do for a keyboard, but for IEMs, for glass mousepad. It's really all about creating something different, something new, get a breath of fresh air. Typically, when I feel like I'm about to burn out, I would just push myself to grind harder for like 2 to 3 weeks. So that would mean that after 3 weeks, I would have maybe about 3 or 4 backup videos, and I can disappear for a month. So basically, I can just not touch my camera, not touch a keyboard for about 1 or 2 weeks, travel a little bit, just go see the outside world, breathe some fresh air, and yeah, that's how I deal with my burnout. Well, aside from that, we have come to the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. If you have any questions anymore, I'll try to reply as much as possible with my knowledge that I have, not that much knowledge. Now, like this video if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you enjoy my content. I do want to hit 200,000 subscribers by the end of this year, 2026. I believe it, and I think I can achieve it. So let's do it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.